Can I say this, that in Thurrock, we don't have a major problem at this moment. That's what I'm told by the officers on the council and our local police officers. That's not to say it can't come here, it not normally comes out from London, but at this moment in time, this is probably one of the safest boroughs in Europe. We're well below the national average for violent crime. So my views are, it's so stupid. Yeah. It's going to ruin your life. Just for having a knife with you. If you were stopped and you had got a knife in your pocket, 4 years straight away. Yeah. Your lives will be ruined. Not only yours, your families, and everybody else associated with you. And you're locked up. I don't know if any of you have ever visited a prison. They're not the happiest. Contrary to what you believe, and you know, reading papers, about television, you are locked up, and it's not a very nice. So please, 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 we're doing well in Thurrock. It's not a major problem, I'm informed, but maybe you can tell me wrong. Maybe I'm getting it wrong, and they're telling me fibs. But that's what I'm told by our police officers and council officers. That it's not a major problem. Violent crime is down.
What is the local council doing about this to keep young people off the streets and stop vandalism?
Well, it's difficult times. We're doing all we can. I think half the trouble is, if you're on the streets, I've got 3 children all grown up, and I'm sure if those out there, out of work, walking the streets, eventually they're going to upset somebody. They're the nicest guys in the world. If you're out there 24 hours a day, no work, no school, you're going to upset somebody, because boredom will come to you, and you know, you'll push the boundaries a little bit more. And it is important that we're doing lots of apprenticeship schemes on the council. I'd love to say we're building great youth clubs. I personally have done them. In my other hat on, built youth clubs. I come from South Rockingham, we have a youth club, we have a local boxing club, and they would tell you that the mayor supports them, I think, more than anyone else in the area. But that's what we've got to do. We've got to keep you occupied, keep you fit, doing the things you want to do, not the things we think you're going to do, the things you want to do. So,
In the Stanford area.
In this area?
Yeah.
Well, I can only tell you what I'm told by our local police officers. They tell me that crime's coming, violent crime is coming down. But night crime is not a major problem. It's a problem, we're aware of it. What we're a bit concerned about is gang night crime, where the gangs are running around at night. We're deeply concerned about that. And I hope our police officers will cover that. I don't think it's any worse around here than it is anywhere else. I know you're going to no tourist pubs, but I only read the paper like you read the paper. That's what I'm told about this.
Do you think the consequences of youth crime is harsh enough?
Well, I brought some leaflets in, I just saw it. Just for having a knife on you when you're stopped, you go away 4 years. That's what you're going to get. You walk out that door with a knife on you, police officer stops you, nicks you, you're going to go away for 4 years. Well, I'd like to ruin your lives at your age, but that's a long, long cycle, you know.
Okay, what's your opinion on youth crime?
It's not nice at all. It's a real problem, streets and safety.
My topic of investigation is youth crime in Thurrock, like all youth crime in general. What do you think could be done to prevent youth crime in Thurrock, like centres where where teenagers can go to get them off the streets, and like any other ideas really?
So as we're not doing enough. I don't mind that say there's not enough facilities, but there are lots of things. I mean, wow. When I think when I was a youngster, what was hardly anything. You played football in the street, that was it. There are no fields like you've got around us. There are things out there. My concern is order. I think that's what causes most of the problems, you know. Yeah. Your evenings and later. And I think it's mostly the kids are out of school, not working, as I've just said. I love my children dearly, and they've never got that with a little scrapes from the law like we all do. But I think if they was out there all day long, nothing to do, they wasn't at school, they wasn't working, they would be in trouble. They'd upset somebody. it's and that's a maximum. I think it's just boredom, and you know, we need to do it.
What, in your opinion, is working the most to prevent youth crime? Like, there's like dispersal zones and other stuff like that.
I'll tell you as a councillor, some nights I get a phone call, there'll be an irate neighbour who fell over when he phoned me up saying, there's a gang of kids on my street corner, and I say, what are they doing? Well, they're there. So, they're swearing, they're offensive, they're shouting. No, they're there.
Yeah.
And that's your crime.
My topic is multiculturalism. I think it's important because we are surrounded by many different cultures. What do you think could be done to make the public more aware of multiculturalism?
Once again, I think that moving away from this system where we do tell people where they belong based on statistics and stereotypes, I think that one thing that I think we do very, very, very well in Britain is encouraging new people to come forward based on their own background. In Thurrock we've got various community groups that operate to bring like the Asian community together. We've got various businesses that sell cuisines from their own cultural heritage. I think that is something we do really, really well in this country. We do encourage people to come forward, and whether it's either setting up a business, setting up a community group, coming forward and bringing their difference to the table. That's something we do really, really well in Thurrock. We've got a new community strategy which will break down Thurrock into geographical areas, like Stanford will be one, like community hub. And I'm hoping that will be the vehicle to help people who want to come forward, want to set up a residence group, want to set up a certain association. I'm hoping that will be the vehicle that lets them do that, and the council can support them in that.
My name's Paige. For my action, I am proposing to make a book which we can read and teach young children. I hope this will teach young children about the consequences of youth crime. Do you think this is a good idea?
I think that's an absolutely fantastic idea. I've said everyone has something new to bring to the table. The idea of young people writing a book aimed at young people, I think is absolutely fantastic. No one has a monopoly on ideas. I've been criticised once or twice because I'm a young councillor for people saying that I don't necessarily represent young people efficiently. Well, this is how people can be better represented. The idea of writing a book is absolutely fantastic because you'll have a completely different perspective from me, perhaps, completely different perspective from perhaps quite a large amount of your classmates, and it will just help engage with more and more people. Once again, seeing people as individuals, writing a book for young people, written by young people, fantastic idea.
Important because it educates people about different cultures and countries. Also, we feel we need to promote this topic as people may not know much about it, and therefore might stereotype people that have differences, for example, religion. Do you feel this is an important issue? If so, why?
I think it's a very, very important issue. I've already said that stereotyping is one thing that we do unfortunately do in this country, whether it's local government or whether it's national government. We do stereotype people because we think that by getting an idea of what society looks like, we can better engage with it. I don't think that's right. I do think that leads to an isolationist mentality where we force people into boxes. In terms of, you mentioned religion, I think that it is important to engage with these groups, but the reason I think that community groups do it a lot better than, say, the council launching an initiative is because people are individuals. They're not stereotype demographic boxes. I became a Christian at about 19. For the first 18 years of my life, I really couldn't care about religion. I really wasn't interested. So if the council had an initiative aimed at me, it would have completely failed during my younger years, but not so much later. So I think that having the council launch certain initiatives won't see people as individuals, and that's why I do like the idea of strengthening community groups and getting out into the community with events like this, talking to people, and if you've got ideas that you think the council can do better, fire ideas at me and we can try and do things. But I wouldn't be massively keen on the council launching say faith-based events without actually talking to the community first, because you're the society, not the council, and I think that's how the relationship has to be.